Welcome to the Double R Show, the podcast that features everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, directed and produced by Paul Robertson and hosted by the voice of Lincoln City, Roger Robertson.
And welcome to the Double R Show, Double R, along with son Paul. And today we're going to be rather eventful.
Full of events, yeah. We're going to talk a lot of events. We got the community day calendar that we're going to really focus on, but also Dr. Sarah Klain is going to be here talking about a Marine Reserve event coming up here in April.
So it is eventful. Stay with us, and we'll start right after this.
You'll find a book for every occasion at Bob's Beach Books. Something to read as you relax by an open fire? We have it. Studying a particular topic? We have that too. Traveling to a far-off land? Discover it first by reading. Bob's Beach Books in the Ocean Lake area of Lincoln City? Come discover.
Golf was better at the beach, and Chinook Winds Casino Resort and Golf Course proves it every day, Mr. Paul.
Yeah, and there's some spring rates through April 30th there, so you can play 9 holes for as little as $12 as a senior or military. Play the whole course for $20 for regular folks, $16 for senior and military.
That's a lot of golf.
Yeah, it's a lot of holes. It's a great course, fun to play.
Now, we also have some pretty good food and other activities that take place up there as well.
Yeah, of course, you got Aces up there. We got satellite TV and pay-per-view, and you can catch up on all sorts of games while you're waiting for your crew to finish up their 18, plus maybe get a pint or two.
Ace is the place. Now, also for the young people, the children in the community, casino has a facility just for them.
Yeah, there's a child care facility for folks that aren't aware of that. They did reopen that a while ago now. Child care pricing $12 an hour, and anyone 3 to 11, great place to enjoy some fun and play and explore under the supervision of their talented and friendly staff.
Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City, because it is better at the beach.
Zantello Law Group has moved. I'm Josh Zantello, and our law firm is now located across from the Lincoln City Community Center on Northeast 21st. Our law firm of knowledgeable professionals stand ready to assist you in life's matters.
Lincoln City Community Days is upcoming, Paul, and I'd like to spend a little time talking about all of the activities that are involved in Community Days, and there's a host of things.
There is. I mean, it's a whole week starting April 18th through the 26th. So, yeah, lots of things to be talking about.
Kicking it off on April the 18th, one that you've participated in a number of times.
As you have.
Yes, and you'll probably be there again, the Mud Flat Golf Classic.
Yeah, your grandson-in-law was excited about that, too, to come out and to come to the beach and play golf on Siletz Bay. And it's just a great event. It's a fundraiser for the golf team, traditionally.
Right. Yep.
And so you go out, there's a hula hoop setup of rings of golf holes out there on the mud flats, and you play 9 holes.
and it's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You play best ball, and you're just out there hacking away, and all you need is a 7-iron or something, and you play the whole course.
And they wind up with a lot of prizes that they give out because of participation as well.
Yeah, and you don't need anything. Just bring, I think, $5 is the entry fee, and there's clubs that you can use there and golf balls, and it's a really, really great event, unique to the Oregon coast. I think maybe the world for that matter.
It tees off 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 to 1 are tee times in Siletz Bay on Friday. April the 18th, one of the kickoff event for Community Days 2025. Beach Bonfire, sponsored by Northwest Natural at 5 p.m. Down in the Taft area. Down in the 51st Street turnaround. It is a marvelous event. The gas company provides hot dogs and marshmallows and s'mores and all of the wonderful things you'd need to eat on the beach.
Yeah, it was a great turnout last year, too. It's just a lot of fun. You get to see your neighbors and friends and just kind of connect about Lincoln City. And a lot of us hardly get a beach fire a year in, yes, so this is one great opportunity.
Now, you'll want to get a hold of the Lincoln City Chamber of Commerce early on if you want to have a garage sale in the Great Oregon Coast Garage Sale. The map will be in the Oregon coast today, but the Great Oregon Coast Garage Sale kicks off on the 18th of April. But again, you need to get registered long before that up at the Lincoln City Chamber of Commerce office.
Right, indeed.
Then on Saturday, we got a beach cleanup with Solve. A lot of participants from all over the state of Oregon come to help with that beach cleanup, let alone all of the individuals, the organizations here in town that are out there to help clean up the beach. It starts at 10 o'clock on Saturday, the 19th of April. Pollinator Fair, I know nothing about that.
Yeah, that's kind of a new one for me, too. So we'll have to dive into that a little bit. But, you think of bees and honey and all the things that make things spring-like. I assume we're going to have a little opportunity to hear about that. It starts at 11 o'clock.
That'll be information on that will be forthcoming. Camp Westwind Earth Day. They have been doing this for a number of years. It's 11 to 3. Don't know the details of what they're going to be doing this year, but last year they had, took people across the water over to Camp Westwind. Highly successful.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to visit that site, meet there at Night Park, and get a ferry across and spend a little bit of morning and afternoon out there at Westwind and see all the offerings of there, and just a beautiful way to explore that camp.
Surf and Earth also on Saturday, Earth Day, 1 to 4 at the Lincoln City Cultural Center. We have an eco-volunteer event at noon, and sponsored by the Lincoln City Parks and Rec. And a new event that takes place as well, another Earth Day event on this is actually on the 22nd.
The 22nd is the actual Earth Day, right?
So we'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes. Also taking place on Saturday the 19th. Event starts at noon. It's over about 12:01, 12:02, and we're talking about the Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, people can start gathering at 11 o'clock down there at Schooner Creek Discovery Park in Taft. But yeah, when the bell rings at 12, if you haven't picked up an egg in a minute and a half,
you're going to be.
You might want to boil some when you get home.
You might want to boil some when you get home. It's a true story. It is a spectacular event. The event was taking place in Lincoln City long before the Robertson Klain landed here. It is a tradition of the Lincoln City Kiwanis Club, and it started out with the real eggs. Originally, probably the first time that you went.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Was the real Easter egg. Now they're in plastic candies and prizes and just all sorts of goodies for all of the kids. But that's the egg hunt. And what a great place to have it.
Yeah, no, the Discovery Park down there is just brilliant. And, of course, it used to be held there at the park where the community center is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before the pool was
Before
there.
the pool, right?
Yeah.
That's right. And let's see, on Sunday, April the 28th, Easter Sunday, the Great Oregon Coast Garage Sale continues. On Monday, the 21st, Secrets of Salsa.
No, I know you've been to this a few times.
It's wonderful. It really is. A couple of the salsas were a little bit much for me.
Well, your palate's a little bland there. I'm just, for people who don't know that, there you go. But, yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity to taste a lot.
Well, I like donuts.
Well, sugar and salsa. Okay, well.
Sugar and salsa. Earth Day is April the 22nd. A lot of activities for Earth Day. The mayor will be delivering her mayoral address at the Lincoln City Cultural Center, the State of the City. Dinner and music free event at the Congregational Church that same day. Come and spread peace. Making a peace sign down on the beach.
Oh, okay.
And then everybody that participates in that event invited to a free, and I underscore free, spaghetti dinner up at the Congregational Church at 5 o'clock. And at 6 o'clock, Peace Day, Earth Day concert. The Peace Band will be performing in the sanctuary. And again, another free event. That's all sponsored by the Congregational Church here in Lincoln City.
And so the human peace sign at the D River.
Yeah.
Okay, starting on the D River at 3 o'clock on Earth Day, and then follow up to the Congregational Church for free spaghetti and music.
And the whole thing is to get as many people as possible down on the beach to help make that peace sign in collaborative together. There's that word, collaborative. We hear that a lot in this program.
Nice.
We also, coming up on April the 23rd, a new event coming in. The American Legion Post 97 is going to have a free luncheon for all veterans, going to be taking place at the Veteran Park just down from Bob's Beach Books. Phil Bowles will be the chef cooking up the burgers. And again, the event is free of charge to all veterans. Lincoln City Memories. Andy Morgan come up with this one.
Right, yeah.
And Andy come up with this at 6 o'clock. And this is going to be up at the museum this year. And it is an opportunity for people to talk about the history of this area.
Yeah, share some stories, hear a little bit of stories, learn a little bit from your friends and neighbors, and just enjoy that space, too. So it'll be, again, at the Historical Museum there right next to Kenny's IGA.
Paul, I think we had to take a break and come back and talk about the rest of the activities and how people can nominate others for awards to be given during Community Days. We'll do that right after this.
Wouldn't it be great to have all your insurance needs handled by one agency? This is Charlotte Lado with Farmers Insurance and the Insurance Store. Visit our office next to the Wildflower Grill in Lincoln City. Let us be your one stop for your personal, commercial, health, and Medicare insurance needs.
If you're looking for great early garden fresh produce, it's Kenny's IGA in the Bay Area of Lincoln City. 4 generations of Morgans caring for your every grocery need. All of your favorite beverages, a full deli, meat, produce, and of course, groceries.
We at La Roca are proud of our food, but don't take our word for it. Read the reviews. One person wrote, the service was friendly and efficient. Another writes, La Roca has become one of our favorites because it's authentic Mexican food.
And welcome back to the Double R Show. Been talking about Community Days 2025 taking place April 18th through the 26th here in Lincoln City. And it's just a litany of special events for the community. We got as far as talking about the Lincoln City Memories down at the museum on the 23rd. On Thursday, the 24th, a real tradition as part of Community Days is the canned food drive. This year will be in front of grocery outlets, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. You'll see people out there with signs, screaming, yelling, asking you to pull in, give us canned food, give us cash, give us money. Everything goes to the Lincoln City Food Bank. Every single can of food, every single dollar goes to the food pantry here in town. So help us help others during that event. And then the Dark Sky Week. You have been involved in this Dark Sky program, have you not?
A little bit, yeah. So this is Friends of the Dark Sky. That's a new group that's formed here in Lincoln County. And the goal, I think, of the group is to really raise awareness about what dark skies are and the benefits of dark skies, not only for, viewing the night sky, but, for humans and animals and the like. And so, they focus on things like smart lighting of your house, right? So, like, instead of having a porch light that runs all night and shoots light up into the sky, well, just have one on a timer that's pointed down to where you're, trying to walk, and that sort of thing. That's the idea, smart lighting versus just, lots of lighting out reaching the skies. So, yeah, they're going to have this event here, Dark Sky Week preview party, and that's going to be at the community college where we've been holding events for dark skies. It starts at 6 p.m.
I like the notion of being able to really enjoy the skies because of the dark skies.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tourist draw, too. So when we think about economic development, dark skies can really play a role in our community. And, I think that's just one more attribute that we can point to for our community.
Now, I have to ask you what the final event on the 24th is. It's a Hispanic event, and my Spanish is not good enough to say...
Dia de los Niños.
Yes, Dia de
los Niños.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, and so that would be children, right? The Day of the Children. And so... time and date for that to be announced. And, if you miss some of this and you want to catch up on all the events, just as a heads up, go to the Facebook page for the Community Days.
Please.
And so facebook.com/LC Community Days can get you all of this and more. And so, look for the date and time for the Dia de los Niños coming soon.
And what I really like about Community Days is it attempts, and I think succeeds, in involving the entire community.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, I mean, that's really the goal. And we see this again with events from all places, from the mud flats out to, Arbor Day, which we're going to talk about here in a minute.
Now, we also have Ducky Derby coming up on Friday, the 25th of April. This is a fundraiser for the Booster Club, I believe.
I think it is this year. It's not just a fundraiser, but a
fundraiser.
Yeah.
Buy your duck and cheer it on in the race in the D River.
Yeah, so going back to the original D River float for this event, sounds like, and you buy a duck, and if yours wins the race, then I think
it's a cash prize.
Oh, good, yeah,
it's a cash prize, the Ducky Derby, and we'll have information about where you can buy those tickets in a future program. Arbor Day also coming up on the 25th of April. Arbor Day at the Lincoln City Community Center, 3 until 5 p.m. And Jeannie Sprague always does a phenomenal job with that and her staff.
You're right, indeed, yeah. And so I think they'll probably have some trees you may be able to pick up, and we'll just look forward to learning a little bit more about that here in the future.
Now, Moe's Restaurants a number of years ago started pancake feed during community days. Now, they have really expanded that. They are doing a pancake feed for a nonprofit every month. Every month at Moe's on a Saturday. This year for Community Days, it is the Kiwanis Pancake Feed, and the tickets are $10. You can buy them in advance from any Kiwanian member or at the door as well. Serving from 7:30 to 10:30 down at Moe's on the 26th. Great hotcakes, great pancakes, along with the coffee and the juices and the whole bit. You'll enjoy it, and it is a major fundraising activity for the Kiwanis Club. Thanks 100% to Moe's.
Yeah, it's a big giveaway from them, and of course, Kiwanians are out there helping, serving, and the like. So join your fellow neighbors, 7:30 to 10:30 down at Moe's on the 26th.
Now, the concluding event is the awards celebration, 6 o'clock at the Lincoln City Cultural Center. This used to be a pretty formal event. Not so much anymore. It's gone from steak to hamburgers.
Well, it's really kind of went through, a little bit of an evolution through COVID. And so
Yes.
to bring back community days, I thought, okay, let's just see if we can, get a few events on the calendar. Sure enough, it filled the whole week. Now,
Again.
of course, we've got 2 weeks basically, or, a week and some change. And this is the culmination of this full set of community days events at the Cultural Center. Really fun event. And so there's a number of awards that they give away each year.
A number of awards for the event. This year, you got the Volunteer of the Year, the Leader of the Year, Innovator of the Year, Unsung Hero, and Emerging Achiever, somebody 18 and younger, that Emerging Achiever. So those are the 5 categories. Everybody can nominate anybody.
And how do you go about that?
Just write a letter, and you can probably send it to, go to the Facebook, and the address where to email that you would be in that Facebook page.
Yeah, and then we'll put a link to that in our e-newsletter too for folks too. So if you haven't seen that, reference back to the e-newsletter, and we'll put that QR code and Facebook link in there.
And again, there's the 5 categories: Volunteer of the Year, Leader of the Year, Innovator of the Year, Unsung Hero, and the one I really like, the Emerging Achiever. So that's Community Days.
That's a lot of community days.
That's a lot of Community Days, and we'll be back right after this.
Northwest Septic Service is your one-stop shop for all your septic needs.
Northwest Septic Service offers pumping, maintenance, repair, and inspections with one call, 541-994-6977.
Buying or selling a home? Northwest Septic Service can inspect your sewer line or an entire septic system.
Old or failing septic system? Northwest Septic Service can rejuvenate most drain fields, saving you thousands of dollars. 541-994-6977.
Serving Lincoln, Tillamook, and Yamhill counties, Northwest Septic Service. Welcome back to the Double R Show. Sarah Klain, rhymes with Maine, is with us. She's with the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, human side of Oregon Marine Reserves. In layman's terms, what does that mean, Sarah?
Well, thanks for having me on the show. I suppose in layman's terms, what I do is understand how people's well-being and people are impacted by how we manage the ocean. So my program looks at the implementation of the marine reserves and the various impacts, both positive and negative, that they've had on coastal communities and communities of practice, communities of interest. So that means, how have the reserves impacted commercial fishermen, recreational fishermen, surfers, and others who perhaps volunteer with the Biosphere Collaborative and Cape Perpetua Collaborative. So yeah, I look at how human communities are connected to the ocean.
Interesting topic, but I keep coming back to there was a lot of controversy that originally surrounded this, correct? But people now have opened their eyes to how important this really is?
Yeah. So if we want to go to my first job out of college, a long time ago, I worked for a nonprofit organization, and I was interviewing fishermen about areas of the coast that were most economically important to them. And that was meant to inform a policy process to figure out how to minimize socioeconomic impact of these no-take marine reserves. So no fishing allowed in these marine reserves. The project that I participated in way back in 2003 did not directly lead to any marine reserves being created. However, over time, so around 2008, 2010, that's when the momentum to create no-take marine reserves took off. Governor executive order was kind of like a catalyst for that.
Remember it.
Yeah, and it was very controversial. There's a lot of fear.
Understandably.
Yeah, and fisheries were already going through dramatic changes at this point with the groundfish fleet restructuring and other policies happening at that time. So there's already a lot of anxiety and fear about what's going to happen to the fishing industry, and some felt that the marine reserves were going to be another negative, harmful impact. However, I do want to say that about 3% of Oregon's nearshore habitat, so that's beach to 3 miles out, approximately 3% are marine reserves. That means 97%
they are open.
Varying degrees of open, but largely open. There are some marine protected areas that restrict some specific types of fishing, but largely 97% of that nearshore habitat is open to fishing.
For a novice like myself, what are some of the areas that are part of the Marine Reserve that I can relate to right here in Lincoln City?
The closest marine reserve to where we're sitting right now in Lincoln City is Cascade Head Marine Reserve, and it's also connected to the Biosphere Reserve. So it's an effort to build that land-sea connection. And one story that I recently read about that I just love about Cascade Head, that region, was in a chapter that I read in Robin Wall Kimmerer's book, Braiding Sweetgrass. She talked about how the indigenous people of this region burned Cascade Head to signal to salmon to come back to their natal rivers to spawn, and to signal to the other inhabitants, human inhabitants of this region, to come and harvest and share the abundance of that wild salmon. So I think that's a really cool story about these interconnections between the land and the sea and the people. And to me, that's really what I'm all about, which is figuring out how do we strengthen our connections to each other and to the natural world and share and rebuild that wild abundance.
I think we're beginning to really feel and understand the significance of that.
I hope so. We're also running into major issues with climate change and global warming. One important aspect of these marine reserves is that they are places for a lot of scientific investigation. So at these marine reserves, there is more science being done in some of these spots than in much of the rest of the coast. We regularly monitor all 5 marine reserves, and we're looking at the impacts of acidification and the hypoxia event that we had and other changes in the ocean. So these 5 marine reserves are really places where we listen to what's going on.
Are we doing better?
The state of Oregon has committed to protecting 3% of nearshore habitat, and that's a new idea. This whole idea globally of having no-take marine areas. There were some traditional cultures that had small areas where they would restrain from harvesting, but to have it at a statewide or regional or coastwide scale of protected areas, that's a relatively new thing to occur. Some environmental groups want to expand it from 3%. Other interests want to contract it. So it's a balancing act between not interfering with fishing in an excessive way while also doing what we can to protect marine biodiversity.
Human side, the human side. I just love that, the human side, the Oregon Marine Reserves, because we are interconnected, are we not?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of different ways to think about the human side. So I went to a conference, an economics conference at Chinook Winds last year, and I heard this Lincoln City development representative talking about the marine reserves as, quote, gems of the Oregon coast and part of the Oregon coast's competitive advantage when it comes to attracting tourists. However, there's still some fishermen who would rather not have any marine reserves. So there's still this tension. My office, though, has conducted a statewide survey, and we found that the vast majority of Oregonians, when asked, do actually support the marine reserves at 3% of the near shore. So there is this growing broad support for the marine reserves, and they continue to provide an opportunity for us to learn about what's going on with the ocean as it changes.
Sarah, if somebody wants more information from you, how do we access that?
Well, I invite you to come on April 3rd at 5:30 p.m. to the Lincoln City Cultural Center. We're having a community meeting where we're hoping to get a wide range of people, including commercial fishermen, recreational fishermen, surfers, beachgoers, conservationists, educators, artists, volunteers for citizen science projects, and tide pool ambassadors, and ocean-based tour operators. We want a wide range of people who have a relationship with the ocean to come and meet with me and a team of graduate students as we work to focus in on what are the most important types of human dimensions data for my office to collect and do long-term data collection to better understand why these marine reserves matter to different coastal residents and visitors.
That's probably the real key to what you said, better understand.
Yes.
Better understand. Sarah, thanks for being here. And again, that meeting is going to be at the Cultural Center April
3rd at 5:30 p.m. And it will be catered.
We may be young, but we are experienced. Hi, Adina Zeller here, and Zeller's restaurants are now a year old, but the experience in preparing and serving food goes way back generations. Zeller's Lincoln City and Rose Lodge. Come on in.
It has been an eventful program. We want to thank everybody for participating and sending in their information so we can really talk about Community Days in its entirety, because it is a major undertaking for the entire community.
Yeah, and just a really heads up as to what's happening and when. And, of course, your participation is vital in Community Days. So, I think Sandy Gruber is probably the veteran of most of these events that she's attended in years past. We'll see who can be the one that makes it to the most events this year.
That would be true. Also like to talk about the gentle chair yoga taking place at the Lincoln City Senior Center. That's Mondays at 11:30. I always like to draw your attention to wearing a vest. Even though we are now in daylight savings time, people aren't out walking as much late, 5 o'clock in the dark, but that will come about again.
Yeah, it's a good practice to be in.
Yep, get a vest and wear it at night so people can see you where you need to be seen. Habitat for Humanity, 3rd Annual Home and Garden Show coming up on April the 26th down at the Newport Recreation Center. If you'd like to have a booth, contact Habitat for Humanity for that as well. And we've got a brand new fun guide put out by the Lincoln City Parks and Rec, the Winter Guide for 2025, chock full of things for the entire family, and want to be part of that as well. I believe this Icons of the Sea is about complete.
Well, yeah, so Saturday will be the day, Icons of the Sea for Gyotako Master Printing Class at Pelican. There are a few seats left, so go to cascadehead.org to register for this spectacular opportunity to learn this Japanese folk art.
And again, it is a marvelous location for this event as well, because you have the backdrop of Siletz Bay.
Yeah, so we were talking about playing golf on Siletz Bay earlier.
Yeah.
Well, this is an opportunity to print some fish and octopus and learn about nature printing right there at the Pelican in Siletz Bay.
That'll do it from my side of the table. From yours?
All clear from here.
So that'll do it to the doings on a Double R Show. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share so you, your family, and friends around the world and across the street can join us on the Double R Show. For Son Paul, Jenna, I'm Double R. Have a happy day.
You've been listening to The Double R Show. Join Roger and Paul Robertson as they explore everything about North Lincoln County. The The Double R Show, produced by Always Productions and hosted by Roger Robertson. Have a story? Email contact@alwaysproductions.com or call 458-201-3039. For The Double R Show, I'm Jana Grawn.